Okay. All right, good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Jesse Macpherson coming at you from Phoenix, Arizona. As you guys are coming on here, we got some new faces, some familiar faces. Good to see everybody. And if you have the opportunity to put your camera on, that would be great. So, because I love seeing all your beautiful smiling faces on this incredible Wednesday. I know some of you guys are not in a place to be able to do so. But let's get started. So it's Wednesday. We're going to be doing our accountability for our for Hawaii that's going to be coming up here. And I know we've got more and more people that are qualifying. Ruth, congratulations on already earning your trip. I know we've got some new advancements that have happened this week. I saw Jessica, congratulations on your promotion here this week. And we've got, I know, a lot more new people that are coming on board, which is exciting. And I want to just kind of reiterate, I know what's been talking about here this last week of really breaking it down and keeping it simple. So a couple things here in kind of the process here in the journey. First of all, complexity is the enemy of execution. I want you to write this down. It's an important quote. I wish I made it up. I got it from, I don't know, one of the events that I went to. I'm going to say Tony Robbins' Business Mastery, but I could be wrong. So don't quote me on where it came from. But complexity is the enemy of execution. See, inside of our business, one of the most important things that we need to learn how to do is we need to learn how to execute. And how do we learn how to execute is by finding out what are the right things that we need to be doing and how we do those things consistently over a period of time. And I know truth, Trish and Truth. I know that Ruth and Trish have been talking to you guys about these activities that are non-negotiables. There's just certain things that are non-negotiables in your business that if you violate these rules, I don't care how excited you are, how positive you are, what your attitude could be on 10. It's not going to work. It's like if I was driving east looking for the sunset. It doesn't matter how excited I am, right? Like there is some portion of our business where, attitude isn't everything. And part of that is learning how to be an executor, learning how to go out there and go, okay, I'm going to take something that doesn't exist and I'm going to do certain activities on a regular basis. And I'm going to learn how to get good at those activities. And I'm going to learn how to create a result. And when you can learn how to create a result, and it's really following that ATM system, add, tag, message, and it's doing those small things and utilizing the groups that are there. The resources are there, the tools are there. Guys, we've got the products, we've got everything that we need, and we just need to have that kind of that momentum that really is going to build on top of it, which is exciting. I'm not going to focus too much on that today. I know you guys have been talking about a lot of that. What I want to talk about today is a little bit of the shift of the things that need to happen simultaneously while that's happening. So there's two businesses that you need to focus on. And this is a really important conversation that helped me along my journey. So there's the business that you're in, and there's the business that you're becoming. And this is an interesting thing. You need to be focused on both simultaneously. If you're only focused on the business that you're in, usually what we're looking at is the everyday tasks and the mundane things that we're doing. And a lot of the times it's easy to get bored, honestly, with the everyday activities and losing sight of the business that we're becoming. So the business that we're in currently right now, what is the business that we're in? We're in the business of introducing people to this community and getting them in an evaluation process. That's the business that we're in. I mean, if you think about it, right? How are we going to build a large secret organization? Because I don't know about you, if a kind of end game for me, and if I'm looking at this, what is it that I want to create for myself? And then what is it I want to create for others? So for myself, it's very simple. It's $1 million a month in residual income. That's my personal end game. Now, how am I going to do that? Is have 1 million monthly customers inside of my organization and get paid about $1 per order. Now, if I have 1 million monthly customers, not everybody orders every month. So I got to get more than that. So now in order to do that, that's a pretty hefty goal, right? Now, in order to do that, I have to have a large organization. Now, that's kind of an end game and end goal. But for each of us, I don't know what the end game, end goal is for each of us that we're looking to build onto. But I want you to thinking about is the business that we're in and then the business we're becoming. So what is the business that we're becoming? Now, I remember when I first heard that, I was like, I don't quite understand what what that exactly means. And what I mean by the business that we're becoming is where we're growing into. Guys, if there's anything that 2020 has taught us, is that change is inevitable. So I think we can all probably agree on that. And I think 2020 has given us a shot of how, like there are things that we are not in control of. I don't know if you guys have figured this out. And if you watched the presidential debates last night, yes, exactly. And I'm thinking about it going like, okay, a lot of fear and anxiety is going on in the world today, as we all know. And I mean, God, we could go down a road of the challenges that, there are to experience. But one of the things I want to do is kind of focus on what can we control and what is it that we can grow into. So in order to do this, what I want to kind of share with you guys is the business that we're in right now is introducing people to this company, this community, to social networking professionals, introducing people to a product line, having them evaluate information, and then make a decision to buy and or join. And then once those people buy or join, our goal is to teach them a simple system that they can do themselves in order to repeat that kind of success. It's really a very simple model when you boil it down, and we usually try to overcomplicate it because that's what humans like to do. But complexity is the enemy of execution. So on the business that we're in and the business that we're becoming is, what does that mean? So, oops, hang on a second. I don't want to share a file. I want to share a second camera here. Let's see if this worked. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. Yes, cool. All right, got this thing restarting, good. So in the business that we're building and the business that we're becoming, the question is not so much who, the reflection of the business is based on who, right? So if you think about ourselves, and let me go back to my camera here, is you are a reflection of your business. And this is an important concept to be thinking about is this. So I am a reflection of my business because the company evaluating is the same. So I want to be a good messenger of this message called Seacret, called attraction marketing. And our business isn't so much something that you need to go pursue. It's something that success is something you attract by the person that you become. And instead of focusing on the doing, is really focusing on the being. So in about a year in my business, I was like, just tell me what to go do and I'll go do it. I remember this vividly. I was just telling my mentors, just tell me what to go do. I'll do it. I promise you. And what I notice is when I shift a little bit of my thinking, if not what do I need to do, but who do I need to become? Who do I need to become in order to have a business that has 1 million monthly customers? Who do I have to become in order to have a diamond size organization? Who do I have to become in order to attract the type of people that I'm looking for in my business? So who do I need to become? Now the question is, okay, so the business that I'm becoming, how complicated can we make that, right? I mean, what do I do with all that? And here's what I'll tell you. There were 3 things that I was taught that changed pretty much everything on becoming the leader that I needed to. And here was one: read. Right? And you're like, Jesse, you beat this to death. I know. And I'm going to do it forever. Because guess what? Just like doing your activity on a daily basis is a non-negotiable, here's where I want you to be in a place where in a year from now, people look at you and they see something different. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that in a minute. But 10 pages of a good book. I don't even care what it is. I just want you to find something that's on a realm in terms of a capacity that you want to grow into. Now, this could be in terms of leadership. Great subjects right now in our business: leadership. If you're looking to grow a large organization, but there's other areas. Think about, man, there's areas, procrastination I've got a problem with, right? There's a book called Eat That Frog. If it's referrals, some of the greats that are out there, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. You're taking a look at Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I mean, some of the staples that are out there when it comes to John C. Maxwell, the 5 levels of leadership, as he talked about in our conference here. And what I want to do is I want you to have more books in you. That's what I want. I want people to experience more depth and wisdom. Now, why is this so important? And why do I keep hitting on this, and why I'm going to forever hit on this, is because everything that I looked at over the course of my 18 years of being obsessed with growing businesses and growing teams, for the vast majority of it, it wasn't that the business needed to grow, it's that I needed to grow. It wasn't the business. Three-way phone calls were three-way phone calls. Exposures were exposures. Presentations were presentations. And those were skills that I could get good at. But what happened was, simultaneously, I needed to build the business I was in and the business I was becoming. And who is the business I was becoming? It was me. I was becoming a business. Each and every one of you, you're business owners inside of Seacret. Most people, when they join a network marketing organization, don't see themselves as the business. They see the business as the business, and they're promoting the business. But each and every one of you, if you're going to build a full-time big income inside of our profession, you are going to become the business. See, people don't follow products. People follow people. People use products, but they don't follow products. They follow people. And what I want you guys to look at is, when I look at what, Trish and Ruth and the leadership here, is what is so attractive about it is, when I go, look, these people, they have something. And I want people to have that experience when they meet you. So 10 pages of a good book every single day. How vitally crucial is this to your success? I can't even possibly begin to go into how important this is. And the reason why is this is how you compress decades into days. You take things that people have spent decades of their life messing up, and you get to learn it in days. It's that vitally important, right? The next bit of this, of these kind of three things that really made the impact. What are you listening to? Okay. So listening. So read 10 pages. Listen to 15 minutes of some kind of personal growth every day. Now, what's great about this, you can do this on the fly. You can do this while you're driving. You can do this while you're moving around. You can do this while you're working out. You can do this while you're doing the dishes. You can do this through so many different ways. And back in the day, when I first started this journey of kind of development and growth of working on me and really kind of diving into that, I can tell you that it was a lot more expensive. So, back when we used to have to get the cassette tapes or the CDs, you guys remember CDs? I don't know if you guys, I know for some people that, there's a generation of people, you realize, that have never seen them. Like, I met this person that was looking at our business, and she was 19 years old, and it freaked me out because I realized she was born after 9/11. She wasn't even around. And it literally, I was like, oh my God, right? But when I look at the access to the information today, we have an abundance of information. Now, that can be a good thing, but it can also mean that people don't realize the value of the information. Too much information, tons of information may not be good for us. It's kind of like when we got access to too much food, what happened to human beings, right? It's almost like we did that with information. We're just like gluttons for the information. And instead of being targeted with what is the good information, what are the things that I really am going to be needing in order to improve the quality of my life. So what are you listening to? Today, from the podcast and audible.com and all the different areas, there's so much that you can be listening to, all right? But I also want to distinguish two things, is the difference between personal development and professional development, okay? I want you to write these two things down. Personal development, professional development. These are two different subjects to me. Professional development, I want you to think about kind of like a vehicle. And the vehicle itself, professional development, would be like changing something more on the exterior. I'm replacing the upholstery. I'm swapping out the radio. I'm giving the car a new paint job. I'm putting some new wheels on the car. Now, although the wheels might be more of a function of the car, they're more of an exterior. Professional development, a good example, just to kind of professional development, remembering people's names. Is that something that is important in our business? Yes, of course it is, right? Learning how to form people or ask questions. Those are important professional development skills, right? Another professional, being on time. There's a professional development skill. Keeping your commitments, professional development skills. Professional development. A lot of people spend the majority of their time in professional development, but not in personal development. What is personal development? To me, personal development is when you're digging into the depths of your soul to figure out who the heck you are. And Professional development is the scariest stuff. This is when you're actually going into, why do I do the things that I do? And how can I learn more about me, connecting with me? And as they say, if you've ever gone and done any more, deep kind of connective work, is going back to the little boy or the little girl that was you, that developed how you have to operate in the world today, and finding those blind spots of going, where is it in my life that I'm living into something that's not necessarily me? No, this is where you get to go and get into the exciting stuff, right? And I can promise you, it's usually not the most enjoyable and most fun. Professional development is usually a lot more fun than personal development. How many of you guys know what I'm talking about? Give me a amen, right? So, but that's number two. The number three thing that was really the key differentiator: associations. Okay. So these were three things. If we were to boil down the business that you're becoming and who you're going to become over the next 5 years, is going to be the things you read, the things you listen to, and the things you associate with. I believe these three things will impact who you will become over the next handful of years more than anything that you can focus on. So I'm trying to give you three simple steps in terms of what can I do to make a just gravitational pull into a completely different direction. And as Jim Rohn would say, it's the winds of life that blow the same on all of us, but it's not the winds that determine our destination, it's the set of our sail. It's setting a better sail this month, the next month, this year, the next year. So when it comes to associations, who you hang around is who you become. And this is one of the reasons why every time I've made a move, when I move physically in terms of like my location, I moved for associations. I moved to be closer to a group of people that I believe that could impact the quality of my life, that I could be around and just kind of have them rub off on me, so to speak. And this is why coming to the events, when we come back to our bigger events, are going to be so important. Now, a lot of the stuff we're doing online, are we associating here on a daily basis? See, some people don't realize that just being here in the mornings at 8:30 a.m., whether or not you get a lightning bolt moment of just brilliance that comes through, or whether or not you get a huge piece of education, it's being in the environment changed me. Being around a group of people that wanted me to step up, that wanted me to grow, that had an expectation for things to get better. And I love how Tony said, he said, the quality of your life is in direct proportion to the expectations of your peer group. Again, say that again. The quality of your life is in direct reflection of the expectations of your peer group. So what does that really mean? What it means is that the people around us, most people have an expectation that you're going to probably maybe vote like them. That's why if you don't, they get freaked out right now, right? People have an expectation that you are going to probably earn about the same amount of money. Most people don't have the expectation that you're going to go on 3 vacations this year or 3 more. Most people don't have the expectation you're going to double your income in the next 12 to 24 months. Most people don't have the expectation that you're going, that's not usually, most people expect you to know who got voted off Survivor or American Idol or The Masked Singer or whatever show people are watching today, or who got kicked off The Bachelor. You guys know what I'm talking about. There's an expectation from most people's peers. And so what they told me when I first looked at this, they said, Jess, you are the combined average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, you know, in terms of likeness, in terms of belief structures, in terms of what you was acceptable to you or what's not, in terms of income. And they said that, they suggest, take the 5 people you spend the most time with, excluding your parents. They're not going to count. I'm talking about your peer group, right? The 5 people you spend the most time with in your peer group, okay? And what I want you to do is I want you to take their incomes and add it up and then take the average of those 5 people's income. And what they said was that your income will be within $5,000 of that income. And I was like, no way. So I added it up and I was like, oh, damn, you know, right? So now, is that true 100% of the time? Of course not. But the majority of time, what I have found is that you become who you hang around. It's that simple. So you lie down with dogs, you come up with fleas. Ooh. Elevators are like associations. Some will take you up and some will take you down. So you need to be careful what your associations are doing to you or what your associations are doing for you. They are doing something. The The question is whether, and this is not whether you like it to or not. That has nothing to do with, well, I'm just going to hang around these people and I'm not going to let it affect me. It ain't gonna happen. So you take an English speaking child, put them in a Spanish speaking family. What will happen to that child? Speak Spanish, won't they? By choice? Mm-mm. The environment will dictate that. Your environment of being around a group of people that speak a type of language. And what I noticed is that the people that were successful inside of our business, any business, had a specific language. There was a language of success. And when I started paying attention to it, what I noticed, these people said different things than these people did. These people had different thoughts than these people did, different questions. And then I started gravitating. This is why they said, look, if you can't change the people around you, you need to change the people around you. And that's not easy. I do know. Now, doesn't mean that I'm leaving people behind. Great people I'm friends with, great people I'm connected with, great people I might go out and have a beer with. Well, not today anymore, but you know what I mean. But I'm not going to spend a lot of time there. So I want you to be focused on your associations. Now, why is this important? And going back here is, generally speaking, some of you guys have seen me do this, but I know we got some new people on, so I want to share this with you, is let's say you're a square. And that's just who you are. You're a square. You do square things. You have a square job. You have a square husband. You got square kids. You know, I mean, you're just a square. And usually what happens for most people over a period of time is they get tired of, you know, they're just like, I'm living this square life and I'm going to try to be the best square I can be, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's enough. Right. And then all of a sudden they see a triangle and they're like, oh my God, that's it. That's like, it's got like a point to it. It's got like an edge to it. Like it's like sexy. It's almost a little like, you know, like it's got these angles I've never seen before. That's my problem. I've been a square. I need to be a triangle. And so what they do is they change. And now they're becoming this triangle. And they're like, all right, I'm going to do triangle things. You know, I'm going to be at triangle parties. I'm going to have, a triangle job. I'm going to, eat Doritos or tortilla chips or whatever. You know, I'm going to become a triangle and I'm going to be the best triangle that I can be. And some of you guys know what I'm talking about. You go through this, you hear this as kind of a midlife crisis, some of these situations, right? It's like, I'm sick of being a square. Triangle is the way to go. Now, when you become a triangle and after you're a triangle, do you have the same square tendencies? No. Do you have the same square friends? No. A lot of times these will switch up for you, right? And so, but after a while being a triangle, you're just like, man, this is just, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's really enough for me. So, and then all of a sudden you see wandering by, you see one of these and you're like, oh my God, look how beautiful that is. It's got no edges. That's unbelievable. That's what it is. I've been trying to be this triangle. I'm not a triangle. I'm a circle. And so what do? You change, right? And all of a sudden you're like, circle things. I'm a circle. That's my problem. Now you believe in karma. What comes around goes around. Right? You start, meditating and Tai Chi, and right. And you don't have the same square friends. You don't even have a lot of the same triangle friends. Right. So, but what do you believe about them? Well, they'll come around. Right. Now, after a while, you're like, oh man. So now, and here's what's happening with all of these structures. What's happening is these are all changes. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a change, but here's what I want us to focus on. I'm not asking you to change who you are. All right. The difference between these is they're all two-dimensional. They're all surface level changes. Here's what I'm looking for and however you draw a sphere, I don't know, pretend that's a sphere, right? I'm not asking you to change who you are. I want you to change the depth of who you are. This is the difference between changing and transforming. See, changing, okay, is what most people are the most afraid of. I don't want to change who I am. I don't want to change this. I don't want to change that. I don't want you to change. I don't want you to have more change. I want you to have more depth. Depth. This is transformation. Okay. Now, what do I mean? I changed for a while. and it didn't fit me. It didn't suit me. I was trying to be something that I wasn't. I was trying to be someone that I wasn't. And what I noticed is that I didn't need to be a different person. I needed more depth from the person that I was. And this is where the books, the CDs, the organizations, the events that I went to, the associations, all of a sudden people started to see something different. And they were like, Now I was still doing the same presentation. I was still doing the same organization. But what was happening is that people were starting to experience it. They were just like, there's something to this kid. Now, if you've been around me long enough, you know, I'm a child. I'm still a child. Guess what? I'm going to be a child when I'm 55. I'm still going to be probably that way. I'm not asking you to be my way. I want you to be your way. I want you to be the best you that there is. And that's what I'm looking for. I don't want you to be the next Jesse. I want you to be the first you. But I want you to be the best depth that you've got. And how that's going to happen is focusing on two things: the business that you're in and the business that you're becoming. And I'm so excited for the business that we're in, because the business we're in is fantastic. What I'm really excited about is watching you become the business you're becoming and seeing how that impacts the business that you're in. Because when you grow, your business always grows. Every time. Never seen it not work, right? And so if you can hold on to working on both these things simultaneously, right, at the same time, and I know it's not easy, wasn't designed to be easy. By the way, people say, well, it should be easier. Well, when you're God, you can set up the rules the way you'd like. However, in this world, we have found that this is the strategy. So hopefully these three things can just make it as simple as possible to understand these concepts as we go forward in building our business and building our organization. Now, does that mean you might have days where you're like, that's it, I'm not growing, I don't want to change, I don't want to do anything? Yes, we're all going to have those days. We're all going to have those moments where you're like, not today, right? I'm not doing it. Yes. And then what's going to happen is you're going to realize, again, you're going to wake up and you're going to get around a group of people. This is why I love the associations here. This is why I love the environment, because look, life is sometimes going to take you to your knees and punch you straight in the face. And you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. And 2020 has been one of those years where it's been rough, you know, and I know there are some of you here on this line that have experienced tremendous pain in your recently here with, you know, whether it be losing loved ones or whether it be losing an income or having to pivot completely or having just a world of uncertainty come on you. But here's what's exciting: hanging around people who have your answers instead of spending a whole bunch of time with people who have your problems. That's why the associations were so important. So that's it for today, guys. Hopefully something for you, and hopefully a little bit of juice for your week, and getting into those daily actions and activities. So what we're going to do here is we're going to stop the recording and